Hi, welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm here with a pick a card reading for you as always. So get cozy. We're going to have a little chat today because we're all friends when we gather around my table. For today's pick a card topic, we're looking at a no contact connection on your mind. This can be a brief no contact situation, or this could be a no contact situation that's lasted for a long time. Whatever the case may be, make sure that you are taking the messages as they resonate and leaving behind the messages that do not feel right to you, of course, because I am reading for the collective today. But today we're looking at a no contact reading, and what do they wish they could say to you right now in this no contact situation? If they could say anything, what would they say to you? Now we want to welcome back, of course, our beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your beautiful comments. Thank you to everyone who is supporting each other in the comment section as well. And thank you to everyone who stands up for me in the comment section. I really appreciate that. You guys are amazing. So thank you so much for being a part of my soul family. As a thank you to my subscribers for your presence here, be sure to drop your comments below because I do offer a chance to win a free reading. And you just have to drop your comments below any of my readings this month for your chance to win. Be sure to hit your notification bell because I will notify you in the comment section if you are chosen as the winner. And I will give you indications on how to reach out to me via one of the links below my readings. Be sure to protect yourself from people who are posing as the Tarot Cottage, especially on Instagram. They tend to make their rounds over there. And I will never send unsolicited DMs to anyone for a reading. So be sure to protect yourself from people who want to scam you. But be sure to drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me, of course. And if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you join us as well as a part of our soul family. And feel free to drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading as well if you enjoy this content. And I do pick a card readings on this channel. I do try to release at least 3 times a week. So there's always new content coming out. I'm very open to content suggestions. So be sure to drop that below as well. But for today's no contact, what do they wish they could say to you today, right this moment? We have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile 1 here with the choices card. Pile number 2 with the wake up card. And pile number 3 with the painting the roses red card. And this is a Alice in Wonderland oracle. I'm not sure of the name exactly. I'm going to go back and I'll put the timestamps below, or I'll put the name of the oracle deck below as well. But pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3, no contact situation on your mind. What do they wish they could say to you right this moment? Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the choices card. It says feeling blocked and restrained. And this is your reading. No contact, love message. What do they wish they could say right this moment? Now, the choices card can relate to the lovers. So a lot of Gemini energy. It also speaks to like having to make a choice in love and life, maybe choices between parties. That could be why they feel restrained. There could also be really limited by the choices they made in this connection. And they could be kind of punishing themselves for the things and the choices they made in this connection in the past. But let's start. I'm going to start with the Joie de Vivre Tarot for you, pile 1. No contact, love message. What do they wish they could say right this moment? Pile number 1. We have the Wheel of Fortune. The Chariot. The 4 of Swords. The Hermit. And we have the Ace of Cups. Back of the deck we have Judgment. Now we're already starting with a message coming through here about family. I've got a family message coming through, despite the fact that we don't see the 10 of Pentacles. I do read intuitively, so there's a wrestling energy between family. It's like somebody who's not being honest about how they're feeling in this moment because they perhaps are being pulled in different directions because of other responsibilities. But they're also relating this to you as well. So they could feel like you have moved on and had a family. They've moved on and had a family, for instance. Like there's just a reference to 2 people that are kind of living the same life or living a paralleled life at this moment. So even the realities that sting for the 2 of you, they could be very mutual. And I got a message too about fumbling the ball. And this could be in reference to literally playing football in high school or something like that, or at college. But fumbling when it came to this opportunity and dropping the ball of this opportunity. I feel like I never let you into my sanctuary. I feel like I never let you in. And that's one of the biggest regrets that they feel like they made, because they feel like they had a perfect opportunity. And they weren't even struggling necessarily with confusion about how you were feeling, because the truth is that I feel like they could pick up on how you were feeling too. I feel like it was very mutual. Here's the Wheel of Fortune with the Wheel of Fortune. And they also, I feel like they're afraid to say this message because they don't want to seem woo-woo. But because you're attracted to tarot readings on YouTube, you may not feel like this message is woo-woo at all, because they feel like there was fate associated with this situation. They feel like the two of you could be fated to meet again. Like, they don't want to give up on this idea that the two of you have fate associated with your connection, and that this fate could be momentum that brings the two of you together. And they're also saying that the same fears that existed for them in the past, they don't exist today. The fears that held them back in the past have been replaced by a new obstacle or by a new fear. But it's like they're juggling fear on different fronts, because they're also fearing you leaving them behind, not feeling emotionally motivated by the situation the way that they are at this moment. And they say that they've been waiting a long time for healing. And they thought that they would have healed by now. They thought that they would have solutions by this moment, but they haven't found them yet. And the truth is that they still have this bubble around the potential. Like, they don't want to release that, even though the obstacles are very obvious. It could be something very practical in nature. It's like, I still don't want to let go of this possibility that fate's going to play a role here, because they feel like fate played a role in the past. And they feel like because of that momentum, because of the truth of that fate and the way that it felt at the moment, that's going to play a role in the future. They're highlighting puberty as well for someone watching, so please take that as it resonates. Coming of age. So this could have been the time frame in which you met, perhaps. A lot of Virgo, Cancer energy here today. Here's the Eight of Swords. And they also want to say they didn't act, but not because they didn't want to. There was a desire. They were just taking their time. They were trying to be cautious, or they were trying to take the perfect step or make the perfect impression. And now, because you're still an influence on their life, they still feel afflicted by the what ifs in this situation. But now they say healing or refocusing would require a lot of determination. And I feel stuck right now. And the truth is, they aren't stuck. They're just really motivated by the fear of making adjustments, because they feel like an upgrade for them would mean a downgrade for other people in their life, perhaps. Here's the Death and the Ace of Cups. Six of Pentacles, backup deck. And they also want you to know as well that they have thought about communicating with you, that even if there has been a lack of communication, they realize that that probably sent a very strong message about they didn't care or they were uninterested. And they feel like they felt that way too. That's how they know that you felt that way. That since you haven't reached out and you haven't contacted them, that you just don't care. They've been triggered by that message. But because they also are in a position that feels parallel, that feels like they're taking a risk and they're afraid to take that risk, they now have gained that understanding of like, I understand that appearances are deceiving, and that just because you haven't reached out doesn't mean you don't want to talk to me. And they want you to know that just because I haven't reached out doesn't mean that I don't wish that there was communication. Doesn't mean that I sometimes don't even have these conversations with myself in my own head. Even though I'm complacent about it, I feel like they have conversations with you in their head. It feels like this is a connection that maybe didn't even get off the ground and should have gotten off the ground. And they're really regretful of their decision to hesitate. But again, now their decision to hesitate takes on a completely different life form. because they don't feel like they can just give from the overflow. They don't feel like they're in a position to be generous with themselves. They feel like they're attached to something, or they have more responsibilities. We have gratitude coming out though, and little children coming out. So if there is dynamics in your life with children, or if they have moved on to have children, for instance, they're trying to make sure that we don't look at them in a poor light. It's like they're even trying to make sure that they don't feel like a bad person for wishing for you, because they do have a lot of gratitude for some of the abundance in their life. They can appreciate where they are, but that doesn't depreciate from where they've come from. And I feel like that's really a strong, almost emotional argument that their heart is making in the present moment. And we have the palm tree: stability, security, permanency, growth, endurance, and flexibility. And despite the fact that they have moved on and moved on to a new island, they are referencing loneliness that they experience still on that island. And that even though they've been flexible with their practical moves, and even though they've moved into other environments, the truth is that right along with that flexibility of movement comes the flexibility of their heart. It's like it's just grown to create more space, that the feelings that they had for you has endured. But we do have the snake on the back of the deck. Other people, the other woman looking over your shoulder. And we have separation. And that's why it's like, despite the fact that there's commitment cycles, despite the fact that it's like they don't want to be the type of person to step outside of a union or to take a risk in that way. But that doesn't mean that they're not missing. It just doesn't mean that they're not hoping for something to shift and change in the future, that perhaps they don't have to be responsible for a shift and change in the opportunity, but they are hoping. We have kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, and falling in love. And it does feel like, sorry, my throat's closing. It does feel like a innocent connection. Maybe you didn't even share a kiss, or maybe that's all that you shared. And that's why it almost feels like they'll never know, or they're fearful that they'll never know. What do they wish they could say right now to pile number 1, please? Addiction comes in many forms, and you are mine. And I'm still curious about you. The chaos that this creates is too scary. And that could be why they don't take action, because they are sort of feeling restrained and blocked because of the choices they made and the choices they have to make. It says, surrender, I've given in, I've given up. And that's the 10 of Swords. And a reference to the constant thought that has gone into the situation, a little bit of obsessive thought that has gone into this situation, kind of an emotional expression of helplessness in being able to find the solutions. Because I'm trying to be logical. And I try to work to distract myself. Got a very strong teaching element right there. I just felt a teaching energy. We have Ice Queen. So feeling like you are not taking action, or feeling like maybe you are icing them out. Maybe you've blocked them, or they're worried about that. The attraction that I feel is more than physical. And the back of the deck says, 1111. The angels are singing. So again, a very strong parallel in how they feel. A very strong parallel in the environments that you know each other from. I'm going to use the Cottage Divine Masculine Love Oracle. And then the link for this deck is actually below as well if you're interested in this deck. What do they wish they could say right this moment to pile number 1, please? I want a new beginning. And the distance between us is killing me. I also just saw no one knows I still think about you. You sent me mixed signals in the past. A back and forth sort of cat and mouse game, I feel like, in this situation. It says here, I'm ready to act, but I'm worried that this is all in my head. I don't feel like they're ready to act in this moment. I feel like they are contemplating communication, but I feel like they've been contemplating communication for a while. I am haunted by us, and this drives me crazy. Because I dream about the life that we almost had on the back of that deck. Let's quickly ask Spirit if there's any intention on communicating with Pile 1 in the future, please. Does this person have any intentions of communicating and breaking no contact in the future of this connection? Again, they're thinking about it. They're really thinking about it. They worry that the communication would have to be sneaky. Because there's a competition right this moment. A competition for focus, or a competition maybe between queens. It does feel like a competition between like a motherhood type of energy. But they want that information. I do feel like nerves are going to get the better of them. I feel like they're gathering information, but they could be doing it over the course of a period of time to try to avoid that tower moment. And I do feel like they're watching your social media. I don't feel like they're commenting or reaching out in that way. And I also feel like the communication is going to be delayed if they do bring it forward, unless they become very, very hungry for their own success and are willing to change directions drastically. But that could be why they're just sort of all watcher and no action in the future of this situation. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 1, please. The very last thought they had about pile 1 and no contact. In the bowl, using the teeny tiny tarot. Inability to decide. The star reversed. Now, they could have been motivated in this last thought by looking at you on the internet with this connectivity of the star. The last thought that went through their mind was being completely ignored by you or feeling overlooked. And this made them feel like the necessity to have to compromise how they're feeling. It's like, I feel the way that I feel, but I feel ignored by this situation, or I feel ignored by this person. And so there's no healing or closure for me. And so there's a feeling about them looking to the future, but still standing in a state of wait. Even though maybe their heart is telling them they should move on, they're still kind of waiting. Waiting for something to change with all of that Wheel of Fortune energy. We have the money bag sitting straight up on its end. And there's a feeling of abundance, like a lot of abundance. Maybe a lot of financial abundance, maybe a lot of abundance in family, and a lot of to be grateful for. But money doesn't buy happiness, is what I'm hearing. Money doesn't buy happiness. We have G, F, and D. We have the letter C as well. We have music notes. So there could be a music or a song associated with a name. I'm getting a sense of somebody, and that's not for everyone, so please take the messages as they resonate, but a song associated with a name or a specific song that reminds you of this person. And we do have a lack of clarity or closure here with the dime. I think of Libra energy. And the date on this dime is 2001. All right, pile 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. If it does, drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. And be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. You can also check out my link for Etsy below for a private reading if you feel called to. I do update that shop daily, so keep checking back. And I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage. I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile 2. You were drawn to the Wake Up card, and this is your reading. The person in no contact, what do they wish they could say right now to you? Now, this Wake Up card says it's your moment, and there feels to be like a strong wake up call. And Alice doesn't look very enthusiastic about the wake up call that she's received. So this could have been a harsh reality check that this person has kind of received in the no contact. Because in no contact, our distractions are limited, and we're able to truly feel the truth of our connections, feel the truth of our feelings without those distractions. So we're going to use the Tattoo Tarot for you, pile 2. And in this no contact situation, what does the person on pile 2's mind wish that they could say right this moment? What do they wish they could say right this moment, please, to pile number 2? We have the Four of Swords. Reality check, absolutely, Four of Swords. And it's a painful reality check because even as I was looking at that card of the Four of Swords, it almost looks like there's only 3 swords there. And yet we can't deny that there's the butt of one sword, here's the butt of the other sword. And so there's this reference to pain and a reality check of crossroads. It almost feels like a shoulda, coulda, woulda situation. And the wake-up call seemed to be when they were viewing something about you. And so they could be, even if there's no contact, the star can often speak of like a connectivity in the internet. So they could have privy knowledge to what's going on in your life in this moment, and that could be the wake-up call. Seeing you now, seeing you in a new position of authority, seeing you healed perhaps in their perception, because this is all about what they're assuming, that you may not feel that way, but they viewed you recently and you look like you're in charge of your life, in the very least. You look like you are in control of your life. And they don't feel like they have that same type of control or handle on the situation. So this could have been like a bad breakup, or someone, maybe you blocked them. Maybe you've been doing what they perceive as a good job at moving on. They don't need to know if you're still feeling vulnerable in the in-between. And I just got this wave through my solar plexus. So there's a sense of like my confidence being affected, even if they don't see that, which is you've got a good poker face. There's almost a reference to like, I didn't see how much I cared. I didn't realize how much I loved you until I got kicked in the face with it. Yeah, here's the Page of Swords and the Six of Swords. And it's in observations that they're making. This person's watching you in no contact. And they're learning like a lesson. And I feel like the lesson is a harsh one, because it's filled with conflict. There's the Five of Swords poking out of that last sword. And whatever they're viewing, whatever they've come to a realization about, it's stressful. It's stressing them out too. And they feel like they haven't won. Maybe that was their attempt. It's like, I thought I could skirt away scot-free. I thought that I would feel better. I thought that I'd feel abundant, and I'm not the winner here. And now I just can't get you out of my head. I feel like they're saying I've learned my lesson. They're also admitting to be not as emotionally mature as you. It's like they're admitting, you know, you've got more things figured out than I do. You're smarter than I am. You're more capable than I am. And they do feel like there's so much more that they want to tell you about what they've learned. It's like they feel like they have to give you the justification, give you the satisfaction of them recognizing their loss. But this could just actually be an attempt at trying to reconnect with you, to be honest with you. Because they feel like there was no closure between the two of you, and not enough clarity between the two of you either. And that the clarity could have been disrupted by conflict. If there was arguments, conflicts that broke you up, for instance. Here's the Judgment. And I don't feel like they were ready to really be critically honest with their own role that they played in the past of this connection up until this wake-up call. Because now they're starting to realize that maybe they were on the right track in the past in life. And they were making this assumption about how I thought that the grass was greener on the other side, but I didn't find greener grass on this other side. They wonder if the upgrade wasn't with you the whole time. And they're really reflective about the past. They're really reflective about the sort of maybe the pain that they've created in the past, the reality of the pain that they've created in the past. They may have hurt you, for instance. And it almost feels like an apology. Here at the Four and the Ace, it's like the Five of Swords. Again, deep conflict. And it feels like an apology they want to bring forward. They want closure, but the truth is that I don't know that this person would use the opportunity for closure. Aquarius, very strong here. And whenever I see two cards, especially stacked up right on top of each other, and it's the same major arcanic theme, I know that two people, when we're dealing with a collaboration, two people are struggling in the same vulnerability. And they, again, they may not be perceiving that because they could be watching you online, and whatever you're projecting online, we try to project the best version of our life, the best version of ourselves. And so whatever you're projecting online may not be an authentic version of how you're actually feeling vulnerable here. But whatever they're perceiving, it makes you look like you have the upper hand. But I feel like two people are struggling. And I feel like two people needed the space to see things clearly, because our own ego can really conflict our own intentions and can really get in the way there. And they are speaking about that too, about ego-driven conversations or gaslighting. And they want another opportunity to talk to you in the very least. It's like they want to make amends of some kind for you, pal, too. And they're saying that this wake-up call, it's like they're trying to offer it to you as a gift. Because again, you're more aware than they are. Maybe you see their own behaviors more clearly than they saw in the past. And they're trying to offer you that perspective now. It's like, this is a gift. I'm letting you say I told you so. I'm letting you say that you were right. And this is a gift I want to offer you in this present moment. I'm just going to pause to relight that candle, actually. What do they wish they would say to pile number 2, please? They also want to speak about how they're finally being honest with themselves here. And I feel like what they've never said, or what they haven't said from the heart, or what you haven't felt them saying from the heart, is that what they've realized is that they love in this connection. That they are sensitive, that they put on this big tough guy front, but they're a very sensitive person. And that what they really realized after the fact, what this judgment has brought them to, was love. Love that they tried to ignore, love that they tried to turn away from, but it's love. And now they're conflicted because there's jealousy that comes in. It's like you've triggered a jealousy or a competition in their heart. And they're speaking about being in a restless phase of life, but learning because of this connection. And honestly, the education was painful. And the pain came kind of popping up unexpectedly towards them. They didn't expect to feel this. And it sounds like a disservice to you, but they're trying to be honest, and they didn't expect to love you like this, or they didn't realize that they loved you the way that they love you. What do they wish they could say to pile number 2, please? The sacred journey, transformation, life cycles, and family. And reflection, illusion, self-examination, and distortion. And now we have peace, dissolving unwanted and disturbing thoughts. And it's coming in the reversal. It's like that's the work that they're calling for. They want peace. They want clarity, closure between the two of you. They want to let you know that they have reflected, that they are now, if you told them in the past that they should be more self-reflective, they're letting you know that they've taken upon that advice, and that they are reflecting upon a distorted experience or distorted reality that they try to place with you in the past. Again, they could be reflecting upon gaslighting. They are speaking about growing up, evolving spiritually because of the influence of this pain that they've experienced since the disconnect with you. What do they wish they could say, please, to pile number 2? Person in no contact here. We have transformation. And we also have surrender on the back of the deck. And this is coming from the Magdalene Oracle, actually. And what's really interesting about the card pulls for you, the surrender energy, is all about trying to make something happen, surrendering your expectations and trying to be patient. And that's what they're trying to learn how to do right now, is that coming through this transformation, which they feel like they have just gone through because of you, motivated by this connection, that they've changed. But they also realize that there's nothing that they can do to convince you of that. that you've already sort of observed them in their past in this moment. And it's like they want another opportunity to just show you or to tell you how they've changed. Even within the transformation card, it does talk about a positive transformation that is related to the inner work that they've done. And that they were fearful of that change at first. But now I feel like they're more fearful of not being able to express that change to you, or not being able to kind of prove themselves to you that they truly have transformed. What do they wish they could say right now, please? To pile number 2. I couldn't let you get close to me. And it's because they didn't understand the connection. Maybe they kept you at bay emotionally. They kept things undefined. I want to feel that way with you again, because I'm working on becoming a better person. I hid who I really am from you. And we also have a finding out the truth crushed me. They are speaking about a wake-up call, maybe a truth about you. Maybe they have reached out to you recently and you blocked them, or they can't get access to you. And I love you. You don't know how hard it was to let you go. I regret lying to you. They're also highlighting the necessity to heal. Let's get a couple of more. I wish that I could take back my words, especially during arguments or any type of gaslighting conversation, when you knew that you were right, but they just wouldn't give you the satisfaction of being right. It says, I love you unconditionally, and I want to tell you how I feel. Back of the deck says, I know I messed up everything. Huge wake-up call when it comes to you, pile number 2. I'm going to pull a couple of written message cards as well. What are they currently thinking? What are they currently feeling? What do they wish they could say? To pile number 2. It says, let me out of the friend zone. I'm afraid to take a chance. And in this moment, I was pretending that I don't care. But you make me want to be at my best. Where do I stand with you today? I think they are worried about your view of them. They're worried about your reaction to reaching out. This connection is too intense for me. And I just saw I am in love with you. So maybe that's the reason why it felt so intense, because they allowed the emotion in. I'm being driven by responsibility. And maybe they weren't very responsible in the past of this connection, but now they are taking responsibility. Here we have, it's a double-sided card. It says, losing you is my biggest regret, and I want you. Back of the deck says, my heart recognized you instantly. On the back of that deck. Let's take a quick gander to see if this person for pile 2 is going to be reaching out or breaking no contact in the near future, please, Spirit. Will they be reaching out to pile number 2? Will this no contact end? Ooh, they're a little bit stressed out. They have a fear to approach you. They have a fear to approach you, and it could be because of what they're viewing online. They could be worried that you've completely cleared them out of your energy field. You may not have felt that way, because again, I feel there's a parallel to healing here. And it's not that they aren't hungry for clarity or hungry for some type of improvement in the situation. It's that they're letting stress really affect their ability, and they're stalling out. And every time they try to keep themselves protected, that's what's going to create the lack of clarity, their lack of conversation between the two of you. But I do feel like there's a really strong internet connection or a lot of voyeurism. So whatever you're posting can either encourage them to reach out or perhaps encourage them to stay passive and take that passive approach. But they keep referencing education. So this could be an authentic reference of like college, you know, schooling of some kind. But also, again, the spiritual, the emotional education they've received since that proverbial wake-up call with you, Pile 2. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for Pile 2. Starting with Teeny Tiny Tarot, what are they currently thinking? The last thought that entered their mind about Pile 2. Capricorn, we have the Devil. The Three of Cups. They were thinking that they don't have support from you in the requirement or the desire to reunite. They feel like they weren't enough support for you in the past, and now they feel like it's kind of like karma coming back to bite them, that they're afraid that you don't want to see them again or that you don't want a reunion. But that's just coming from a place of insecurity. It doesn't have to represent a honest reflection of their feelings or your feelings. We have here Pisces energy and forever. P, R, U, and O. We also have here the Two of Cups and somebody taking creative accountability when it comes to relationships and when it comes to the lack of progress. We have Gemini, the Sword, the Ace of Swords here. And we also have here connections written in the stars. They're also speaking about healing, especially like healing for the divine feminine. They're speaking of actually melatonin and how your pituitary gland releases melatonin. They're bringing that forward. So you could be on melatonin, for instance, or they could just be encouraging you to get more rest during this healing cycle. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Drop your comments below for your chance to win a free reading. Be sure to hit your notification bell, of course. You can check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I do update that shop daily, so keep checking back there. But I hope you come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the Painting the Roses Red, and this is your reading. No contact love message. What do they wish they could say right this moment? You can see that she's covering up errors or covering up past mistakes. She's turning the white roses of hope into empowerment roses of red. So there's a feeling about having made a lot of mistakes here and maybe wanting to correct them, wanting to make some type of amends here in this situation. So let's take a look for pile number 3, please. What do they wish they could say to pile number 3 at this moment? In no contact. We have a lot going on here for you, pile 3. The Devil, the Strength, the 10 of Cups, along with the 6 of Wands. We're going to pair all of these sort of together in my first position. Back of the deck is the Sun. So there's a lot of clarity that they've already feel like they've received, and they want to speak about that clarity. They want to speak about, oh, they've got so much to say. It's like right out of the deck. It's like they've been waiting to say this to you. It's like, I am very anxious to empower myself in this situation because maybe I've spent so much time feeling like I can't do anything, feeling hopeless. Because even now, these white flowers, they don't exactly look white. They almost look gray. And every time I see the shade of gray, I think of the Hermit. So a lot of Virgo energy, Leo, Capricorn, very strong here already. But they want to say that they regret wearing masks with you. They regret not having the courage to reveal how they felt, to reveal how they're feeling in the present moment, that they let their own ego get the better of them. It's like they were in a state in the past of a perpetual hope situation, but it's like they were hoping for an easier transition. They were hoping for something to be easier when it's their force that has to create change. We have the Temperance. The Ace of Swords. The Two of Wands. I'm going to get one more card for you, pile 3. I know it seems like a lot. These are really big cards as well. Two more cards. King of Swords. And the Nine of Pentacles. Back of the deck is the Five of Cups and the Tower. And the Ten of Swords. Oh my goodness, pile 3. This Ace of Swords in the center of your deck is the sort of apex of the reading. It's the crux of how they're feeling. It's the reality check, and it does sting a little bit. It's a reality check that they've had, and it does sting. They want you to know that this was never the plan, that they had intentions, and that's something that maybe isn't seen by you, or you couldn't see it through their masks because they didn't make their intentions clear. But they want you to know that I had intentions. I was just waiting for a perfect moment. And now I realize that I've shot myself in the foot. Or I realize that that waiting was just foolish. And here with the Five of Cups, there's so much regret in not having another chance. It's like I feel like I missed my opportunity completely. And that's devastating. The Ten of Swords is devastating. It's overwhelming thought. It's obsessive thought. It's kicking myself over and over and over again in a sense of regret and loss. And it's kicking myself extra because I did this to myself. And so they're really referencing the role, the part that they played. And they say the part that they played was just letting myself feel insecure and not acting anyway, keeping a mask on with you and not clarifying that this is how I feel. The Empress. And they want to make sure that you understand sort of the role that you played, and not in a negative way, but the inspiration that you created. They want to make sure that you understand who you were to them and what you represented, because this is all abundance. And you may not have walked away from that situation feeling abundant, and they definitely want to correct that, because you are deserving, and that's something they want to establish, is that you are deserving. And now they can see their life sort of going one direction, but they see the potential from that past energy. It could have taken them in a completely different direction. And they keep saying, I had intentions. I had intentions in this connection. And there's this golden opportunity that they felt like was provided with this opportunity. They're highlighting friendship with you as well, pile 3. And this golden opportunity to move it out of friendship and move it into a new emotional start. And they're like, I was going to do something. I was going to do something. And I took too much time. I was lying to myself about timing. I was lying to you about how I felt. I was trying to keep myself safe, and I was hoping that you would speak first. But I realized that I've only hurt myself more. And it feels like something is missing now without you around. Because there's a recognition of what you had to offer, and a recognition of your good heart. A lot of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio for the Divine Feminine. They're also highlighting like a fair type of person. And this is not for everyone, but first you'll know if that's for you. And they just really are regretful if they created any type of insecurity within you or your heart, because they think you have a really good heart. Now, sometimes the Queen of Cups, there's a reality check surrounding motherhood, so take that as it resonates to your situation. But I'm also hearing that song by Miranda Lambert that says, "The house that built me." And so even this connection is like such a strong part of their foundation of life. It's like you represent an opportunity. You represent a time of my life. You represent a waking up to humanity, waking up to my own life. Again, friendship. And they want you to know that you are not just any old friend, that you set yourself apart. And now they compare themselves. Now there is the King of Swords here at the Nine of Pentacles is indicating letting myself get distracted, letting myself stay protected despite the leadership that I wanted to take here in the situation, despite my truth. And they have so much regret over the loss of what could have been. We could have had a relationship. We could have had it all. We could have moved into a really positive timeline together. And I've been spending so much time, like even the Temperance is a long time. We're spending a long time bringing ourselves back into balance. I've been spending a long time trying to gain clarity over my own past mistakes. And now I need to figure out where you stand. And they don't know. That's the thing that stings, is they don't know if you still care. They don't know if that lid is on tight or if you've loosened it up. And they're so regretful because they keep saying, we could have had it all together. We could have had it all together. And I just know that. 6 of Swords, back of deck. 3 of Wands, supporting the 5 of Cups. And desperately wanting communication to clarify all of this. Now we're going to check at the end of the reading whether or not they're going to come forward to achieve any of that communication, if they're going to make the effort in the future, but we're going to get there, of course. What do they wish they could say in this moment as well? They keep talking about this wasn't the plan. I had intentions. I was going to act. I let my nerves get the best of me. We have here Eternal Embrace. Coming out with the Crucifixion card. And this is coming from the Magdalene Oracle deck. We're going to start with the Crucifixion. Causing yourself unnecessary suffering by thinking that you need to improve in some way before you can find peace and fulfillment. And they may have made you feel like that, making you feel like they were waiting until something happened or that you improved yourself. Maybe that's the internalization that you took away from this connection in the past. But now they're suffering from this from this essential crucifixion, where they feel suspended with their own observation, suspended within this own connection. And it does feel like a punishment, like a sacrifice, like a self-sacrifice that they feel like they have to go through because of almost like a punishment, so that they can be liberated into glory or into clarity from you. It's like I'm punishing myself with all of this regret because of the role that I played here. And then we have Eternal Embrace. Complementary opposites. Now, everything in the universe consists of complementary opposites. It says they're speaking about how opposites attract. So the two of you may have had very different personality types, and that could have been what made them hesitate or made you hesitate in the past of this connection. But there's actually a yin-yang motivation here. So they wonder, and they could be more logical, or they try to hold on to a type of logic. They wonder about like soulmate energies. I don't feel like this person's very well versed in it. Maybe they don't understand the connection, but they are feeling and hoping that the two of you are locked in on some type of destiny. And they're hoping that that destiny will play a role moving into the future of this situation. What do they wish they could say right now, please, to pile number 3? The Squirrel Spirit, believing in yourself. It was coming in the reversal. And that's also what they want you to know, is that there was a lack of progress, not because of you or because of anything that they were lacking in motivation for, but because of their fear. And they're recognizing now that even squirrels do everything afraid. And the reference of the squirrel planting a seed and forgetting where they planted it, and it actually ends up growing an entire forest. It's like they didn't realize the moment of potential and how important of a launching pad that moment was. They feel like they were foolish with their opportunities with you, foolish with their moments. And then we have Peacock Spirit, let it shine. But even now they say that they've grown, they've evolved, they're more confident in themselves. Now they want to share what was in their heart, what was in their throat. It almost looks like the throat chakra. They still feel like they have so much more to say. Back of the deck says, take a leap of faith, the Grasshopper Spirit. And this could be what they're anticipating when it comes to communication in the future. We're going to take a look at that in a moment, about whether or not they're going to reach out to you, pile 3. But they do feel like there could be situations in the balance that require really careful handling. What do they wish they could say right this moment, please, to pile number 3? Whoops. Since here I've been doing spell work on you. Now when I see spell work, I do think of praying. I've been astral projecting to you. And I don't want to be with anyone else. I also just saw you will hear from me soon. So they have been anticipating or thinking about communication. They could also be anticipating, again, having some type of connection, soul connection to you. It says here, give me a chance. My nerves have been getting the better of me. And they wanted a chance in the past with this connection. That's exactly what stopped them from the plan that they had in intention. All intentions were pointed to a action or motivation that was going to move them forward. But it's like they let their nerves get the better of them. They let time run out. And now they want to make a correction. They don't want to sit in a perpetual state of hope, which is what they feel like they were sitting in the past. I've thought about living together. I do want to make things right with you. Just give me that opportunity. And I've been speaking through songs. Don't think because we don't talk, I don't want to, because I actually very much do. Let's get a couple more message cards here, please, for pile number 3. What do they wish they could say right now to pile number 3? High school sweethearts. And I'm curious about what you are up to. There's even a feeling of like somebody who could have moved into like a teacher's position or some type of like an entrepreneurial position. I just feel like they're doing really well in life right now. Despite the emotional regret, I feel like practically things are going really well for them. I want to see you so badly. I want to marry you someday. It's so innocent. It feels like a very innocent sort of friendship. You are like a breath of fresh air. I'm ready for a fresh start, but I'm confused. I don't know how you feel. Back of the deck says, I know that I will love you forever. On the back of that deck. So let's ask Spirit about their intentions moving forward. Will they come forward with communication in this no contact situation, please, for pile number 3? 2 of Swords. 6 of Cups. They're dreaming of a dramatic return. Oh, okay, so they're still in the planning stage. They still have intentions that there's more to come. They still have intentions to want to communicate with you. I will say they're a little bit indecisive about how to approach the situation. They're feeling stuck. And Spirit says like they ultimately know that there are practical challenges or maybe, you know, challenges in your situation that are going to need to be addressed before we can actually move into changing directions, into applying ourselves in a new way. They are hungry for more communication. They do want this very badly. This could be the motivating force to get them into action. Although Spirit says right now they're kind of just in the planning phase of communication. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile 3. The last thought they had about pile 3 in the bowl. Oops. King of Cups. Feeling emotionally insecure, in the very least. The Sun and the 3 of Swords. And again, asking for recoveries, wanting forgiveness. They almost like they need to forgive themselves, to be honest with you, though, because it's almost like they're making themselves feel vulnerable with these thoughts of you, because they keep torturing themselves with the decisions and the freedom of choice that they had and their lack of vulnerability that they showed in the past. And now they just want a fair fight. It's like, I just want to give myself a fair shot with a new resolved awareness and confidence. We have the letter V that popped out of the bowl. We have out. But we also have here the Buddha. Every time I see the Buddha, I think of the Hermit and sort of grounding ourselves to what is. But I also think of preparation. The Buddha prepares. We have crossroads energy and bones to pick, but they feel like there's a piracy. So maybe there's commitment cycles for someone here because they're afraid of making off with something that doesn't belong to them. That could be the wrench in their plans. It's a monkey wrench, so there could be children as well. So take that as it resonates. But this monkey wrench is also a tool that can really help us lose things. They're showing me a drain where we lose something down a drain. We also have here lack of clarity, lack of communication coming in with the peace sign. And we have a lack of bravery that could affect our ability to create the clarity that we want. Pile 3, this is what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Your guides are walking with you no matter what path you choose, of course. If it resonates with you, be sure to drop your comment below for your chance to win a reading with me, and be sure to hit your notification. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personalized reading, and that link is below as well. And I do update that shop daily, so keep checking back. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage. I hope you have a beautiful day.